right there. Everybody, wait a minute. Everybody, wait a minute. Well, everybody, wait a minute. Everybody, wait a minute.
Let me show these suckers how to ball out here. Oh man, let's get this together here. Oh, layup. Oh, no. Shot. Oh, three. Oh, it's like Brick City out here. Mid-range. Oh my goodness, I can't buy a bucket out here. I missed the whole damn basket. Oh my goodness. What's going on, man? My game is looking trash. Oh, here we go. Black Power Media shirt. Now we cooking. Tree. I'm taking on three of y'all with these right here. Between the legs. Oh my goodness. Behind the back. Layup. Oh, did he just do a reverse? He is in beast mode out here. I ain't gotta look. It's falling. Oh my goodness. This guy is going 3, 2, 1. Kobe. Nice. Black Power Media, baby. Nice. Empower yourself. Go get you some of that Black Power Media again. Right here, blackpowermedia.org. Yeah.
I mix what I like, what I like, what I like, what I like, what I like. Hey, what's up, world? Welcome to another edition of I Mix What I Like right here at Black Power Media, the special Friday edition featuring my main man, Geechee Y'all from Barter and Build and Beyond. What's up, brother? How you doing this morning?
I'm doing well, man. How you feeling?
I am as good as could be expected out here in these neo-colonial streets.
Hey, but have no fear, man. They starting to some nonprofits starting to enforce or help organize some universal basic incomes in some cities. So I just saw one got $500 a month, I think, for 2 years.
Oh, really?
So we on the way to socialism, brother.
We're on our way to freedom. And if not that, we are on our way to a black capitalist fantasy solution. So we're going to get into some of that. And then, folks, in the next hour, definitely, use this first hour to get yourselves going and to reach out to these social media streets that you're in, to invite others to join you and share some of this boom bap breakfast, because at 9 o'clock, the ear doctor himself is coming through, not to do work, as is usually the case, but to be the featured guest. We're going to look at the origin story of the ear doctor, our own audiologist. So definitely stick around for that. And in the meantime, Geechee and I will get into a couple things here, because it's some wild stuff happening. And Brother Diallo, just for the record, when he's not here, it's not my doing. It's on him. So I get asked somewhat frequently, where's he at? And I'm like, I don't know. And when he's available, he'll pop back around. So ask him where he's at. Anyway. And to those joining us now live, peace to all of you. Welcome all the remixers in the building. And to those who will see this later, peace and welcome to you as well. And definitely make sure that you do what you can and share the wealth, as they say, by inviting others to get some of this boom bap breakfast. Peace and greetings, everybody. All right, so before we move on, Geechee, there is something I did want to start with, because as I'm still slowly moving on this Cryptoganda essay, that is just, I'm just really not. I'm just struggling this summer. But I went back and revisited some of what I said last week about some of the timeline in the reporting of EYL and Ian Dunlap around cryptocurrency and the crash. So as I'm working through this essay, I went back and revisited what I said, and I had to clarify the timeline. So I want to share a little bit of that because as I put in the graphic for this show, they're always talking about assets over liabilities is their shirt, and I actually was wanting to play around with the graphic, and I really so I put it as assets are liabilities. And the real point I'm trying to make is, one, is just to have a little fun, just a little joke about their branding, but it's also to make the point, somewhat in my own mind, that this attempt to chase what we consider to be assets is in fact itself an intellectual, ideological, or political liability. In other words, the pursuit of black capitalist fantasy is a response to colonial capitalist aggression and oppression is not an accumulation of assets in that sense. So we could maybe try to reconceive of it as saying assets is the political literacy that we need, is the organization we need. Those are the assets that should be assets over liabilities. But anyway, so that's where I was trying to go. But and that somewhat is relevant specifically to what I'm going to share here. Just a couple paragraphs from this essay that clarifies the timeline. So forgive all of the roughness of the draft, everybody, but I did want to clarify something about and then somebody actually made a comment on this themselves. So shout out to the commenters. Oh, that's another reminder. Please, everybody, For those who have criticisms, critiques, comments, please put them on the YouTube channel. I appreciate you sending them to me directly. I will try to respond to them when we do another comment and critique response, but it helps even if you, it helps if share the show. It helps with the algorithms. If you just comment, put your criticism there. I'm actually more likely to see it there than in some of these social media spaces where I get them. But anyway, please continue to do that. And it is in those comments that I found someone checking me on my dates in terms of when I said certain things were said by Earn Your Leisure and Ian Dunlap regarding cryptocurrency last week. So let me just read this real quick, and then we can move on to the rest of our looking at their InvestFest, et cetera, and so forth, and other ancillary related issues. Okay. So as I'm saying here, consider the combined. So I'm talking about in this section, I'm trying to talk about the media, the landscape that addresses itself to Black audiences in this investor crypto space. And I'm talking a little bit about that sort of media ecology. So this is just an excerpt of that. Consider the combined examples and uniformity of messaging of those most prominent in Cryptoganda spaces, particularly actor Hill Harper and his Black Wall Street Wallet application, the Earn Your Leisure podcast, Ian Dunlap, the Master Investor, and veteran journalist Roland Martin and his Unfiltered platform. Via his prominence as an actor, friend, and former classmate of Barack Obama, and then owner and face of BWSW, Harper garners the routine attention of hundreds of thousands of people. Ian Dunlap is a routine guest himself on similarly situated platforms, has his own and his regular visits to EYL and its nearly 900,000 YouTube subscriber base, Martin's being roughly the same, and the fact that they are all representative of a larger media ecosystem assures their messaging reaches a good amount of Black audiences seeking news, investment advice, and economic analyses. As it pertains to an adherence to the cryptoganda and it being grafted onto existing Black capitalist mythology, consider the following summary. So already that's bad. There's just a lot of bad writing in there. So I need to clean all that up. I got consider this in there twice in the same paragraph. Anyway, I got issues. But anyway, on the only thing I would stand by is the correctness of the argument. On July 3rd, 2021, Ian Dunlap published a video on his platform featuring himself appearing on the EYL podcast, in which he and the hosts Rashad Bilal and Troy Millings can all be heard dropping several prominent catch cryptoganda phrases such as going long on Bitcoin or hodling, or that is hold on for dear life because investment in Bitcoin meant it was heading to the moon, in reference to the predicted eventual rise in value of Bitcoin and Ethereum. They even proclaimed that, quote, the party is back on, meaning investors could expect big returns to come. The following month, Hill Harper appeared with Dunlap on EYL, encouraging every Black person to invest in Satoshis, the smallest unit possible, or 1/100 millionth of a single Bitcoin, and that this was essential to Black people owning an ascending value asset class that would place them in a position of enormous wealth and power once Bitcoin is adopted as currency and the world is forced to come through us. The video, which also features Dunlap, remains on the homepage of the BWSW website. However, since 2022 headlines reading, and it should say, for instance, quote, Bitcoin, Ethereum crash over 70% from peaks. Crypto investors lose over $2 trillion in 8 months. The cryptogandist messaging has shifted a bit, but carefully, not in a way that would acknowledge any prior bad advice or worse that would threaten prevailing Black capitalist logic. In fact, just as I'm arguing, Cryptoganda rebrands old arguments in favor of Black capitalism, the corrective post-crash narrative reflects many of the same features previously deployed to protect capitalism and its Black derivation. On July 11th, 2022, Dunlap posted a video of his recent visit back to EYL, in which he is seen comparing the current crash of the crypto market to that of the 2008 crash of the housing market, saying that once again, the issue is people and institutions over leveraging themselves and now being forced to sell or give all of their assets back to the dominant banks, who are now looking to buy up the losses and consolidate the remains for themselves. All right. So, in part thanks to the commenter who pointed out I had misrepresented the dates initially last week of those broadcasts, but it gave me, but just going back and working through this essay, I was able to reorganize the calendar, so to speak, get everything lined up, and then show even more, making my point that when crypto was going up, they were trying to see, they were all like, yeah, let's get in and get paid. As soon as it crashes, instead of saying, whoops, we gave you bad advice, they simply say, you all went and borrowed too much, over leveraged, and now you're getting, you're getting wiped out, when you should just be holding on and going long on, hold on to whatever you've invested in, because it will eventually come back in maybe even 20 years. Now, what I didn't write in that section, or didn't share in that section, is that also this claim that encouraging people to hold on to their cryptocurrency while at the same time expecting that it can, and that its value will be attached to its adaptation as currency for routine use, also contradicts itself. All right. Because if the currency is being adopted for routine use, sitting on it and having it in your savings account is not helping it grow, not helping it expand, and not helping yourself increase any wealth, because you would want to be using it as a currency to replace the collapsing dollar that you could no longer use. So they're just trying to cover themselves and hedge all their bets, so to speak. So I just wanted to start with that this morning and clear that up a little bit.
That one part about being forced to come through us.
Yeah.
One of the what is them two clowns? I don't know their name. The two you went on that show.
The gentleman of crypto.
Yeah. Like one of them was in the military. Well, I think both of them actually was in the military, but.
Well, I know one of them was in the Navy. I don't know about both of them, but anyway, yeah.
I thought Zay was in the military too, but this whole concept of being forced to come through us, like they have a military, or they're gonna buy a military to kind of run things. I mean, it's confusing.
Well, I mean, Harper's argument was simply that if black people have bought up all the Bitcoin, once it becomes adopted as currency, the simple fact that black people have most of it, or a good portion of it, would force the world to have to again come to the currency owned by black people. But so I mean, and I think Brother Kaba was on with me then, but we went through that very video where Harper is making that argument, a year or so ago. And it just doesn't, there are so many reasons why it doesn't make sense, starting with the fact that black people don't have enough money to buy enough to again, even where the graphs are showing, and I'll just pull it up again real quick here, since I have it right here. I've shared it before, but just this graph here, what this graph is showing is that in the only indicator where black people have more than white, that is where the red indicator for black people versus the blue indicator for white people, the only place on this graph where it's reverse, showing black people have more than white, is in cryptocurrency, meaning that more of the and still, and my point in bringing that up is that even where black people have out invested by percentage of population of investors, white people in crypto, they still don't own any of the dominant wallet sizes. Black people don't own any of the exchanges. Black people don't own any of the dominant mining operations. Black people don't own even and as we've shown when they broke down the accumulation of Bitcoin in people's wallets, black people don't even own any of that. In fact, most people don't, because it was something I forgot. I have to go back and when I finish writing this up at some point, it'll be in there. But it was something like 2% of wallets have like 80 to 90% of all the Bitcoin. So even where my point is that even where Black people have more investment in Bitcoin or cryptocurrency than white people, they still don't own a majority of that investment. So white people at less than somewhere around 15 to 17% of white investors are in crypto, and even that percentage owns far more than all of the Black investment combined. And then everywhere else in terms of individual stocks, savings accounts, mutual funds, individual bonds, mutual funds, white people are far more invested in those areas than Black. So as I've argued before, that's because Black people don't have the money to invest in these other areas. These other stocks are more consolidated already. These other both in terms of overall ownership, and then certainly in terms of that overall ownership being predominantly white. And I think that white investors, by and large, relatively speaking, don't look at cryptocurrency as something that's going to save them versus other investments, whereas the messaging specific to Black people takes on that very different, we're going to be saved collectively by this. And that's why you get more people investing in it. And of course, if you can buy 1/100 millionth of a Bitcoin in a Satoshi and have that count towards on the ledger of investments, then of course it's going to look like this graph is showing, where meanwhile the wealth and the income levels remain equally disparate.
So according to that report, we not pro-Black because more white people think Bitcoin is risky and the Black people don't think it's that risky. So we following the white man's narrative.
I think that would be a way of you know what, oh man, damn, my bad, man. I messed up my order this morning. I didn't mean to get to that yet. Forgive me, everybody, and you too, Geechee. I do need us to digress real quick because I did want us to bring up one story that I've been paying increasing attention to, but still not enough. And my bad, dang. But it is related in another way to what we're arguing here, that what we need is political organization and movement building. As is what's happening in Panama. So I just wanted to play a little bit of this. Shout out to the people in Panama.
For 2 weeks, protests have taken to the streets of Panama, demanding the government take action to combat the high cost of living. Prices of gasoline, medicine, and basic food items have doubled since the start of the year.
People are protesting everywhere, and we are ready to start an indefinite strike until they sit down with us to discuss and find solutions to this unsustainable situation.
Teachers were the first to demonstrate at the start of July, but they have since been joined by construction workers, students, and members of indigenous groups. In the central province of Veraguas, protesters blocked the Pan American Highway, affecting access of goods to the Panama Canal from other Central American countries. President Laurentino Cortizo blamed COVID and the war in Ukraine for the cost hikes. He promised to reduce the price of gasoline by 24% and freeze the cost of 10 basic food items to try and dissuade protesters.
Uno de los problemas que golpea ahora.
One of the
I
problems
would
now
say, though,
facing
if I was on
Panamanians
his
and the
PR
world
team,
is
I'd be
rising
like,
fuel prices and the
we
consequences.
need a better
For
backdrop.
that reason, I set up talks to address
Like, how you
high
gonna be
fuel
sitting there in
costs
front of all this
directly
gold
impacting
palatial
cost of
estate,
staple
talk about
foods,
why
with the
you're
objective
all
of
out there in the
finding
streets
concrete
poor.
and feasible solutions.
But on Tuesday, protesters called the offer insufficient, demanding larger reductions and vowed to keep up their pressure on the streets. Analysts say the problem lies in an unequal economic recovery following the pandemic.
Números macro que está presentando.
The macro numbers are based on a few items: logistics, the national airline, mining, and the Panama Canal. But the growth did not trickle down to the population while prices went up. So working class Panamanians are wondering why, if the country is growing at 6.5%, they are unable to pay for medicine and gasoline.
The government is hoping for negotiations with union leaders, but for now, more demonstrations are planned, and a national strike is set to go ahead on Wednesday.
Go ahead, Panama. Anyway, so the way I would just combine those stories, I meant to start with that real quick, is that people don't need crypto investments or investments. They need organization and redistribution. And So it's good to see people out there protesting. Selfishly, the interruption is messing up our vacation plans, but but more importantly, shout out to those folks. And for those who are not aware, Panama, almost everything, both in terms of people traveling to Central and South America and goods, obviously through the Panama Canal, being sent all around the world and into Central and South America. So much goes through Panama. So in just shutting down that one major thoroughfare, and then in Panama, like, you don't have, like, it's not like a whole bunch of different highways going all over the place. You got like these, one or two major thoroughfares. So you block that, you shut down almost everything. So it's great that they're able to do that, and I hope that they're able to achieve as much as possible as a result. Anyway, so sorry for that somewhat digression, but I do think it's all relevant, because if people in Panama and elsewhere are tuned in to the Earn Your Leisures of the world, they'll be sitting down there talking about, we just need to invest better. So all right, so anyway, I got a number of other little things related to this black capitalist issue, Geechee, but let me ask you what you've got, and if you wanted to go somewhere in particular. I know you were looking into a couple things yourself.
Yeah, I mean, we can go into BlackThought first, or we can go into Josh Brown, one of the white boys on the InvestMESS. But that gold seat of that president did make me think of one of BlackThought's verse when he says he's shopping, Panamera shopping in the pandemic. So he's buying Porsches while everybody's struggling.
Is that a verse? That's one of his recent verses?
Yeah, that's one of his recent verse with that song with I think it's a Good Morning lyric. It's Good Morning. And I think I know Killer Mike is on the verse at the end.
Oh, so, no.
Yeah.
Oh, Good Morning. Hold on a second.
It's on in 2020. It's called Good Morning.
Yeah, hold on a second. I got something here. Let me Good morning. Well, I mean, look at it. It says, look, I mean, come on now. Your life could depend on the law of averages. The difference between black and white is mad privilege. Fuck that shit.
Yeah, so there was an article that was talking about
Here
that.
we go.
See, that's the thing.
Panamera shopping in the pandemic.
He has lines, like one line that could be pseudo conscious, or it could be like, but then the majority of them are just bullshit. Like, but there was a article that talked about BlackThought. What happened? Like, they was talking about like BlackThought having a verse like that, but then he goes from a verse like that to saying that the reason why black folks are not investing because of they're hesitant instead of having lack of capital. So that's the headline. That's the story. That the story is that BlackThought of the Roots becomes a venture capitalist. Tariq Trotter is best known as BlackThought, lead MC of hip hop group and the Tonight Show house band. Oh, I hate that, boy. Man, I will never stop complaining, and I've been complaining for years about that the Roots have become a parody of themselves, but by taking that gig. Though I get it, but I'm just anyway. Now he hopes to also become a successful venture capitalist. Hold on a second. Do folks remember like before? I'm gonna come back to that real quick, but do folks? This is why people do remember the movie Bamboozled, right? And that this is the Roots. Like where are they? They're the house band for this. I thought that was them right there.
But they play the house band on this show that's supposed to be a parody of blackface performance. And to see them, so ever since they took this gig on the Tonight Show, I've thought of them as becoming again a parody of themselves. But I guess there isn't a shot of them actually as the band, but they're in there cooning it up as a parody in this film. And then I think they play themselves, obviously for big money, doing the same thing for the Tonight Show as has been. Anyway, I guess I can't find a picture, but so that's what I was thinking of when and so every time I see this reference to them as a house band for Jimmy Fallon, like this is a legendary hip hop group, they like, and BlackThought is a legendary MC. So like this idea that they would be playing, as background for this fool on this silly show is disturbing. But anyway,
I don't know. I think if we re-examine like some of these verses, like I think with majority of the conscious rappers that have made it mainstream, like they might have some lines, but majority of the songs, I haven't seen much of any political clarity that people claiming that they have. Or
well, I don't think that I don't think a lot of rappers, I don't think a lot of people period have the requisite political clarity, and they get credit for making, as you pointed out, allusions to things. I said the other day, like Nas is still like being credited as a deep thinker since he made reference to the Greeks learning something deep from their Egyptian teachers on a track decades ago. Like, but it feels like there hasn't been a continued exploration of those studies and what they would mean. But part of this is the whole problem. Part of the whole black capitalist fronting thing is black people being placed as the fronts, symbolically leading their people into some revolutionary new era. But as it says here, Trotter tells Axios, that is Tariq Trotter, BlackThought, that he's become a general partner with Impellet Ventures, a firm that seeks to back Rust Belt startups that could benefit from capital connections and mentorship from East Coast tech hubs like New York and Boston. So I haven't done. We're just going to look at it together. What is Impellet Ventures, and who are Impellet Ventures? Let's see.
The video game website is funny as hell, but go to choose your team.
Is their go where? Go to choose Impellet Ventures, the world-class founders. So with world-class founders, so we try to surround you with a world-class roster of talent. Oh wow, this is hilarious. So David Brown.
Hey, wait till you get to his stats. Wait till you get the black. That's the owner. Wait till you get the BlackThought's stats.
So he's the founder, mentor, advisor, builder, skier, golfer. Okay. Phil Beauregard. Okay. Founder of Objective Logistics, Rekindle.
Fundraising is a skill.
Fundraising, tech companies, reformed investment banker, part warrior monk, family man, Wharton business school grad.
Lyrical genius, empathy, celebrity, hustle, acting.
Like he has full bars under lyrical genius. There's not a measurement for political literacy, but
and remember, his acting comes from his what's that play? Not No More Black or something by George Strayer.
I don't know.
Schuler.
But yeah, he was also. Sorry, go ahead.
No, he has a play that he's in where he's playing some kind of mysterious magician who he invented this thing to solve the race problem in America by turning black people white.
Oh wow.
So, yeah. So it's based off of I think it's George Schuler, the guy who was kind of like a anti-communist, the black guy who was an anti-communist for like, I think his name George Schuler, the work. Something like that.
I don't know the work, don't know the play, don't know anything. What I do see is that BlackThought is literally the only black contribution to this team.
He's the only BlackThought there. Exactly.
He's the extent of BlackThought. So, but I saw him acting in a film that I think doesn't get enough credit. That is Tariq Trotter in the film Night Catches Us, which is a film that comes as close as I think commercial media has come to engaging revolutionary violence, but not. It doesn't do what it needs to do. It's still a film, but I thought that was interesting. But to your point about what BlackThought does is these sort of, again, these symbolic allusions to radicalness, and in the end he is fronting for very white and capitalist ventures. So anyway, his job title, that is Tariq's, is notable because it suggests that he'll be much more than a celebrity prop for LP meetings or conferences. That said, Trotter also acknowledges that one thing he brings to Impellant is the cool factor. Trotter says he was asked a few years ago by Boston tech entrepreneur Philip Beauregard to speak at Harvard Innovation Labs event, where he also became friendly with Android and Google Ventures co-founder Rich Miner. He began making angel investments both as an individual and with other members of the Roots, but the idea of a more formal role intrigued him. Trotter obviously wants to help Impellant make profitable investments, but he also hopes to make the VC space less intimidating for other musical artists and people from marginalized and underrepresented communities. My brand is kind of like a bridge, and then people also look to my lyrical content for historical and political commentary, which helps inform them. Oh my God. When people see me out in the street, they don't feel I'm the sort of celebrity that is far removed from them in another planet. It is with nothing in common. There's a blue collar rock star thing about the Roots that's approachable and understandable, and I think any company or brand aligned with that will appear more to. So this is horrible. This is the neo-colonial explanation and pitch. I mean, he's saying I sound black and radical, I appear working class, but which will help me bring venture capital into those spaces and be more welcomed and acceptable. That is, he'll be able to more help deliver a very white elite capitalist message to black and other oppressed communities, working communities, and it will be much more impactful. That's wow. That's even worse than I thought.
Yeah, but that George Schuler guy, Harry Hayward talk about him in his book, and Claudia Jones talk about him in his book. They call him like reactionary, defeatist. Schuler, that's his name.
I've always thought it was. I thought it was Skyler. I thought that's how I've always thought it was pronounced. I know it looks like a Schuler or something, but I might be wrong.
Schuyler, but he wrote the book Black No More, like a satire book.
My bad. I don't know the book, but I got the reference. I'm sorry. My bad. I got.
Yeah, but that's what the musical play that he's in. That's what he kind of stars in it. But again, this guy was an anti-communist. He was pretty much, I don't know, I guess you can call him a clown. But
do you have? Is he being talked about in the book you were holding?
Yeah, he's talked about. They talked about him a little bit. Harry Hayward called him a reactionary, and he was kind of following some white man who created satire. I think it was Minchkins, and then Claudia Jones also called him a defeatist, and he kind of like was he wouldn't really speak out against Hitler, so he was almost, I guess, in favor of Hitler per se, but he wouldn't say anything publicly against Hitler at the time. But yeah, he anything I've read about him, even when I read about him in Jessica Gordon Nimrod's book, The Collective Courage, I just never read anything good about this dude, other than he was like a Thomas Sowell of his day.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I was just trying to find some. Okay, that makes more sense. Now I'm clear about who you're talking about. But though I was not familiar with that play, so that's consistent. Okay. All right. So where did you have something else? You said Josh Brown. Did you have something you wanted us to look at from him?
Yeah.
And
So
again, we're talking about just quickly. While you pull up the link, I just want to remind people that as we're talking about again this InvestFest, that Josh Brown is one of the I think 2 or 3 white invitees. Dan Cathy, the extremely conservative right-wing Chick-fil-A inheritor. Josh Brown is who we're talking about here.
They call him the Wall Street court jester.
The Wall Street court gesture, CNBC genius. And yeah, I had looked at this too that you just sent. This is his investment group, right?
Yeah. So I started there and I put my little unemployed, no income having ass numbers up in there. And he was gonna try to sell me something too, man.
Oh, really? You went through this?
Yeah. Well, I just went through a little bit. I clicked on it and put income in there. And it's like I'll put $10,000 in there will be my income in a year, and they still will try to sell your product. And one of the options is like still trying to build wealth, and I'm like, oh, actually, no, save up your emergency fund and then try to build some wealth.
I saw him do this video that I thought we would play, but it would get us copyright striked. And it was a segment on CNBC where he went into the street and he does kind of act kind of comical and whatever. And he went around asking people, and his point was to argue that everybody should invest because over time the stock market here in the United States produces I don't know 20% returns or something over years and whatever, some crazy, and his point was between the strength of the stock market over time, that is, and the value of compound interest. He was going around saying, you can double and triple your money. Basically, everybody could just double and triple their money. It's easy to make money. There's no reason for anybody not to have money. And it's just another sale of Wall Street, of the market, promoting investment as a solution.
Yeah, I think one of the things that one, we could say that at least he's unlike the black celebrities on the platform, he's somebody who spent their career investing or helping people invest and manage portfolios. So he's at least coming from some kind of experience. But I think in his book, what I pull from his book, he talked about this kind of investing precision, which is a fallacy, and he's almost arguing that people who just invest without investment help, they can do it, but then he's also selling investment help in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And so he talks about like the myth of the precision investing, but he also kind of talks about it, and he seems like he's really anti-Bitcoin from what I've seen. So that's going to be interesting seeing him on the platform, because he's basically trying to explain that he's not like any other investment worker or investment guru, and he's coming with this edgy space, and he's wearing Wu-Tang Clan t-shirts and stuff like that. So I think sign up.
Yeah, I don't think it's a contradiction that he would not agree with Bitcoin. I mean, like Ian Dunlap has even, there's even disagreements in there between Ian Dunlap and some others in that EYL universe over the value of Bitcoin and is it decentralized, versus is it actually decentralized? There's debate and disagreement in those spaces. But the debate and the disagreement is ultimately all around preserving Black capitalist investment logic. So Josh Brown is, even if he's saying, because from even what I saw, if he is elsewhere critical of Bitcoin, he's doing that to say because you should be invested in real estate, You should be invested in traditional stocks. You should be diversifying your portfolio. You should be doing all of the things that traditional investment advice encourages, which is participation in a Ponzi scheme hustle, from my humble perspective. So yeah, I don't see it as necessarily a contradiction that they would have some disagreement. I think if anything, it's going to strengthen their overall position, which is to say, hey, look, you need to get involved with investing, and if you're not buying my class, you should be buying his class or buying her class or paying into his class or her class to learn their version of either saving, real estate, some other form of investment, et cetera, and so forth. Because look, even as I was just trying to look, I can't do it. I can't watch more than a few minutes of these videos. And then I can't even pull them up for us to do a not by myself segment because of some copyright concerns. And just also the pain of it all. But just looking through here. So for instance, I saw that they have an interview with Don Peebles, and this was sort of the point. Like we had done a not by myself looking at Peebles and the other Black capitalist elite class, and that whole video got taken down because the documentary we were looking at claimed it. But my point is, they're all about promoting all forms of investment in the market, whether it's crypto. Peebles is in real estate. They got other real estate in tax and advice here. They got this guy talking about demons and vibrant vibes and frequencies and music. I mean, so in some ways they're all over the place, but it's all decidedly within this make sure you invest properly, get your money right. Don't worry about political power, organization, movements, radicals, this, that, and another. Just get your investments together. It bothers me. I didn't even look at this, but they got Rio Ferdinand, Manchester United legend, footballer. Why are they? So they just go after celebrities and stuff like that. And I will have to watch this to see this most recent statement on the crypto crash. But I think that is the one I looked at. Right, because that's the one where he's saying it's like the housing market. So this is where Ian Dunlap was saying, even though going back a year, we've been promoting everybody get involved with crypto. Now I'm saying, but I told you to be careful. I told you not to overdo it. But you all acted like the housing market.
Yeah, him and Dunlap, Dunlap and Brown, they was doing work together for at least a couple years. But
yeah,
even in his disclaimers, he'll say that he'll tell people that he's a big fat idiot, and if he said if I tell you to invest and you invest, then you're a big fat idiot too. So he basically, you want you to buy his services, and then you can't really trust his investment advice.
And I'm not even play the audio. I just started to watch this the other day and I couldn't even take it anymore. Just the messaging here symbolically, the aesthetics, exactly. And all Steve Harvey, what he's talking about here in this clip, he's actually saying everybody watching this has a 100% success rate in overcoming a bad day. The fact that we're all here, proves we can so it's like this, you can overcome bad days. You just gotta, stay strong and keep your head together, and you can do what I've done. And then they start talking about investments and I'm like, but again, same thing with even in the intro here where they have a clip from Dame Dash talking about, I'm not talking about mic drop, I'm talking about bag drops. Like I'm trying to be with the billion. Like my point is that they're talking to people who made money from either the drug game or the music game or the comedy game, but then who present themselves here as having made money in investments, and through taking and having the information that you get when you pay for the courses that you're talking about that they're selling. And meanwhile, the objective collective facts don't support these arguments, given the fact that black wealth is headed to zero by 2053, and so on and so on and so on. The other info that we continue to talk about here. But
I think it's ironic though. Like when we talk about these celebrities offering up black people to the masses of black people to the capitalists. So with this Brown guy, he's connected to a German elite capitalist, and he's selling products to people who he knows don't have any money. He even said that. He said, these people don't have any money yet, but when they get money, I'll be there to help them with my services. So it's like, I mean, they even clear on it, like, yeah, these rich people, these rich black celebrities who got their money through helping capitalists gain your support, now they're telling you to invest, and they're going to bring white people like me to help you invest.
Yeah.
Even a little bit of money that you got.
And they're going to bring, and they're going to bring all of your little bits of remaining money to me. Because part of what I'm also showing in that essay, at least a little bit that I'm still struggling with, is that again, behind all of these groups, like when we covered it before, behind Hill Harper's Black Wall Street wallet is Plaid and Prime Trust and all of these other white platforms and corporations and businesses that are making money off of more black and other investors being brought into the game. Behind EYL and whoever else are the fleeced black audiences that come and pay for these courses and support the channels and the podcast. And then also is the broader advertising community that is supporting them algorithmically, through appreciating their content, all the celebrity driven. So, I mean, they are fronts into white capital. I mean, they're just gateways into that. And then, of course, what you're investing in, whether it's crypto or some other stock or other business, is likely owned by white capital, etc., and so forth. So all of the involvement is meant to prop that up. And of course, that's why it gets such a boost.
He said he's trying to create a farm team of future clients because at the low level, his wealth management, the threshold is the product is like $5,000. So imagine
and who you talking about?
Brown. This is
Josh Brown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Josh Brown, one of his well, I guess his lowest product or service. So imagine going to InvestMESS to put money just to be there, only to have to get another product for $5,000 or so. But again, he said he knows these people don't have money, so they will be his future. He says farm team of future clients.
So has EYL, like, I wonder if they've ever done this. Have they ever shown or been asked to show how the wealth they've amassed is through their investment as opposed to their selling courses about their investments to other people? Because again, this is the same kind of thing. Like, same thing with Ian Dunlap. Has he shown his master investment capabilities and shown that he has amassed wealth from that as opposed to his YouTube work, his affiliation with EYL, et cetera? Like, that's the kind of, a similar form of chicanery here, because it seems to me that while they're telling you and using as a brand that or telling us that we should earn our leisure, that's why, again, I titled the video subtitle or whatever, that we are earning their leisure. Like, that's what's going on. And in general, that's how it works in capitalism, broadly speaking. We end up producing the work and the wealth that allows for the leisure of the elite. Go ahead. Yeah.
Listen, so I had some years of my coming up when I wanted to be a motivational speaker. I was under Les Brown's leadership, well, I guess mentorship at a point, but he always stressed this concept of like storytelling. You see BlackThought said, I want to be a storyteller. Well, what I learned about Les, most of the shit he talk about, it ain't really, it's not really him. And he don't really think like that. So the goal is to, create this image. And so for some of the people that I've been researching, from this InvestMESS, most of them don't have any kind of, well, the celebrities obviously, but most of them don't have anything other than a large media platform that gets them to go speak about all this investing in money that they actually haven't done. So like the plan haven't even worked for them yet. You know what I mean?
That's
So like
that's
you
my
selling
point.
a
That's
plan
what I'm
that didn't
saying.
work for you yet. So
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly the point. It doesn't make it doesn't yeah. It's frustrating as a hustle to watch that happen. All right, let me just get to a couple other things real quick that are related here, and then we can come back. Unless did you have something else you wanted to get to that you had lined up already? My bad. We can.
Well, I had Paige, but the sister Paige Addison, but I mean she ain't got nothing to do with investing. She's a consulting firm, consulting management. She's been in the game for 7 years, and she says her experience working in major cities, New York, Los Angeles, Atlanta, Miami, and internationally Jamaica, which could mean she could be on a buddy pass and flew to Jamaica and did something. But it I don't even know why the hell she's on there actually. I couldn't
This is
find
the real
anything about
estate
any
sister from
investment.
Maryland, right? Yeah, she does real estate.
Who,
She's actually
Paige?
not far from me up here in Bowie, Maryland.
No, I think Paige Addison is in Atlanta, but maybe.
No, I thought it was
but I
Paige
do
Anderson. Oh, maybe I'm looking at the wrong one. Huh? Oh, it's
Well,
Addison.
yeah, you looking
That's
at the
why I got
wrong
the
one.
wrong one. Huh?
I didn't mean to put her stuff on blast, but I know she's she down with PPP though, so she done got a PPP.
She got a PPP loan.
Yeah. So I don't know what the fuck going on over there, man. Look, I know
I haven't looked into her. Okay, we'll have to come back because we still have because they're early August, so we still have we still have next week, next Friday, and I think the 5th of August, that weekend is when InvestFest starts. So technically we have still 2 more Fridays before to go through a couple more of these.
He's also
people.
a celebrity host for Revolt, so I think all the people they kind of together. Like if you on Charlemagne's show or Diddy Revolt, you're gonna end up coming to the InvestMESS.
There you go. So why isn't Killer Mike involved in this?
I don't think they had enough money, but hey, I don't know.
Okay, that might work. Okay.
Maybe I'll ask Nard if he respond back to my text. He don't like me no more, so I'm gonna ask him if Killer Mike ain't a part of it.
All right, somewhat similar. Let me just a couple of other things here real quick. Somewhat related to all of this. This is a story that came out the other day from my good folks at Wall Street on Parade. Just as I'm looking at this Cryptoganda and how it works. This is an old traditional problem in journalism that, as it says here, a headline at Politico declares that the U.S. can't be a financial leader without crypto. The headline was written by a crypto firm. The short of it is that the news outlet Politico convened an event that was sponsored by Grayscale Investments. Yesterday, we spotted a headline at the news outlet Politico that read, "Meeting a moment with without cryptocurrency regulatory approval, the U.S. risks its status as a financial leader." Posing as actual journalism with a byline by a person named Jennifer Gregory, the article provides a lengthy interview with Michael Sonnenschein, the CEO of Grayscale Investments, a peddler of Bitcoin. Sonnenschein uses the interview to whine about a recent Securities and Exchange Commission decision that didn't go his way and tout how his powerful outside law firm, Davis Polk, plans to appeal the decision. Unfortunately, this co-branding between Bitcoin company Grayscale and the news outlet Politico goes deeper than just this one headline. On March 24th of this year, Politico held a conference titled Regulating the Digital Gold Rush, a conference which was financially underwritten by Grayscale. Senator Gillibrand explained that New York is the financial services capital of the world, and this is one of the greatest growing industries that New York definitely wants to have part of. So this is, again, Democratic Senator Kirsten Gillibrand and Cynthia Loomis, Republican, were involved in supporting this event. Bill Harris, the former CEO of Intuit, the PayPal, wrote a detailed critique of Bitcoin for Vox. Bitcoin is the greatest scam in history. Others are warning against all of this, as we've covered here a little bit, and as they cover here as well. But and they were talking about the Americans for Financial Reform statement, criticizing the bill introduced by Gillibrand and Loomis that doesn't do enough to regulate the short of it is that the bill that they proposed wants to put to categorize crypto not as a security but as a commodity, and put it under the purview of the Commodity Futures Trading Commission as opposed to the Security Exchange Commission, meaning that because the CFTC is far less funded and powerful, that they would be able to get away with more. And while it's still under the purview of the SEC, people like my former debate interlocutor, Reggie Middleton, and others cannot continue to promote their security, their speculative asset, as something other than what it is. So, and if it's described as a commodity and not a security, it gets differently or not really regulated at all, and it allows people to continue to rip everybody off in an unchecked way. So my real point in bringing that up is just to show how cryptogandists are doing what all propagandists have ever done, by creating even more incestuous relationships, paid relationships with commercial media outlets and so-called journalism, purporting to be journalism while actually being ads, promotional ads for their product and their services. And that's one of the reasons why there's been so much confusion in this in these discussions, because even what is apparently a report from a reputable outlet is really just a paid advertisement underwritten by the very people who will benefit by people investing in these spaces. Anyway, so I just wanted to quickly show that. And then very lastly, and then I'll stop here, the one other story that came out recently, given that we've covered this issue on this platform in the past, in this area, in the DC, Maryland, Baltimore area, Prince George's County is no longer the richest county in Maryland. It has been replaced by Charles. These days, Charles County boasts, this is a story from the Washington Post the other day. These days, Charles County boasts some of Maryland's highest incomes, and its Black population is soaring. The typical household in Charles County, a former tobacco-growing county that stretches south from Prince George's to the broad tidal Potomac, pulls in $104,000 a year, easily outstripping the median income of $86,000 in Prince George's County and the national median of $65,000. I'm hoping that work isn't making too much noise, but somebody's getting some work done right now outside. Anyway, one reason why I thought this was interesting is that there's a couple of things that I thought were interesting. One, that what gets Charles County is noted as the highest Black, the richest Black county in the country, is a $104,000 median household income, which relatively speaking is not a lot of money, but relative to Black communities that have very little, and even an overall relatively unequally distributed wealth situation among whites, it seems better than it is. The other thing that I thought was interesting is how they count this, that they've tracked Black families and Black in combination. So in other words, the share of each county's population describing themselves as either Black alone or Black in combination with another race, which I think is, again, I think there's something beyond just trying to be more accurate and inclusive. I think this is more about creating more disunity among Black communities and encouraging those of us with multiple or so-called bi or multiracial backgrounds to identify more as that than with our Black community. But anyway, but they've been tracking this apparently. I don't know how long. I have not noted. I'm not aware of. I've never seen this before, so this was new to me that they were tracking. And they're showing that in Prince George's County, Black alone. The percentage of Black alone families has gone down, as is the case with Black in combination in PG, but in Charles County, Black alone and in combination have gone up. And they note here, like many federal statistics, the figures above apply only to a population called Black alone, meaning people who marked only Black or African American on their forms. If they marked Black in another race or races, they are counted as Black in combination, which I still think. So if it's meant to be in quote combination, why is it Black in combination and not? Anyway, I don't know. I have to think more about that. But because they note in here that, for instance, not all of those people would identify as Black, but a strict Black alone metric excludes such people as former President Barack Obama and Vice President Harris, who have publicly identified as Black despite having only one Black parent. In other words, Black alone numbers probably undercount the Black population, though putting a precise number on the undercount would be impossible. Yeah, I'm just not comfortable with that. I just admit that. I'm not comfortable with there being an encouragement to be Black alone or Black in combination, because Harris, Obama, myself, and others still emanate from the Black community, regardless of whatever combination is also involved. So I don't like that there's this encouragement that they or we not see ourselves or be counted as such. But I don't know. I don't know. I have to think more about that. Anyway, I just wanted to quickly get into to bring that up.
It sounds like what they got going on in the UK. In the UK, where I think there's BME or something. I don't remember the initials, but it would literally say, like, if you put them together, the Black population would be more in certain cities.
Mm-hmm.
But because they're so dispersed, it's almost like you think they're a minority, but they literally have more people in the area. So I think it sounds like some stuff that is going on in the UK.
I just, again, I don't have my thoughts fully formed on this in terms of explaining myself, but I just think that, look, I'm not in denial of the differences in experience between, for instance, myself and you, just as an example, Geechee. But I think that difference or discussion should be held as we do here, as an intra community sort of conversation, not allowing white communities or other communities to encourage a divisiveness internally among Black communities. And I don't think that people in my situation should be encouraged to disassociate from Blackness and Black communities and Black politics. And I feel like, because of some of the history of other communities wanting those, white women in particular, wanting those categorical lines drawn so that their children with Black parents, Black men in particular, wouldn't be seen as distinct from their white mother and wouldn't be encouraged or induced into a Black community distinct from their white mother, that there's again this invitation to walk away from the realities of race and racism in this country and a Black struggle. I don't know. I just feel like there's something funky going on there, and I'm not comfortable with it at all. Even as I do recognize it is important to understand the differences and the nuances and the specificities of a Black alone experience. I don't know. I just feel like there's something funky happening there. And yeah, and it's not anyway, I don't know. Like I said, I don't have my thoughts fully formed on that. So but I did see that story and thought it was fascinating that there is a new Black majority, a new home for the richest Black community. And that community doesn't make that much money. Like $100,000 as a household income is not that much to be the richest. Anyway, all right, I'm waiting on the ear doctor to turn his camera on and let us know he's ready. So I got one more thing we can have some fun with before we bring him on. Just real quick, that the haters sent me on Instagram. I didn't appreciate this at all. Hey, and I think we have a lawsuit. I reached out to my bandmates and said we need to sue these fools. Black-owned biscuits at Walmart, Mama's Biscuits. I'm offended. Mama's Biscuits is not some Walmart, black-owned or not. It's not some Biscuits. It's the greatest funk band in Western Maryland between 1997 and 1999. I don't appreciate that. So anyway. All right, enough of that. Let's get to some seriousness. Let's get to the real meat of the day with the ear doctor. Enough of all this capitalism, black capitalism, and all this other stuff.
Mama's Biscuits in Baltimore.
Mama's Biscuits. Was that in Baltimore too?
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that.
Shame
Well,
that.
I mean, I don't know if that's on Righteous Town Road. I don't know if that's the Mama's Biscuit. It looked like the. I don't know. You know, she might be. Yeah, it's baked there, so maybe.
All right. Well. Anyway, quick break. Let's get back with the celebrity guest of the day.
I mix what I like, what I like, what I like, what I like, what I like.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to I Mix What I Like here at Black Power Media. You all should know who this is, but we are specially joined. We have a very special guest today. We are very privileged to be joined as a guest today, the ear doctor, the audiologist himself, who, among many other things, was born in Trenton, New Jersey. He's a professional DJ, podcast producer, project manager at the Urban Tech Academy, has worked with a number of different schools and businesses, and of course is the resident DJ and producer here at Black Power Media. What's up, sir? Welcome to the program. Good morning. We get a whole new background and everything this morning. What's up, man?
Listen, I made it. I'm on I Mix What I Like. Let me call somebody, let them know. What's good?
You should call somebody, let them know.
Good?
You have
Jay Bizzle.
What's going on?
Everything's good. Hey, happy
so
to be
yeah,
here.
man. So we want to do this, man. We haven't had you on to talk about your life and your work and all of that. It's usually about the business when you're on, you know. So let's get into some of that. You start off in Jersey. What my initial question to you is, what brought you? How did you come to become the ear doctor, the DJ himself? Like what? Starting in that Newark or that Trenton, it was Trenton, right?
Trenton.
What I said, Trenton. Starting in Trenton, no disrespect. Starting in Trenton, how did you go from Trenton to the ear doctor?
Well, what I did is back in the day, big up to everybody in the chat room and everything and all that, and all people listening. But what I did is I always listened to hip hop. I always listened to radio stations, Power 99, WBLS. My sister, who was older than me, 7 years older than me, she would always play this music, and I would be hearing it through the wall, and I would get my radio station. And then back in the day, you had your cassette tapes, and you would make pause tapes. You would, pause, get the song off the radio, get another one, and you would just be making tapes. So I would always make tapes. And I always knew, I knew a nice selection of music. So just going through time, I always listened to hip hop. I was always writing rhymes. I got notebooks still to this day, notebooks like this of rhymes. So I would go and write rhymes. And then next thing you know, my pops and moms were ready to retire. And they was like, yo, we getting you out of here. I think they caught me smoking weed or something like that. And they was like, yo, we got to get out of Trenton. I was like 12 years old, 12 or 13, and they was like, yo, he's going down the wrong path. So they was like, all right, well, let's move. We moved to Panama City, Florida. Yeah, so it was a big cultural shock, and I was like, yo, it's wild, but I had to adjust with it. I was into my reggae, my hip hop, and all that stuff. Joining football teams and getting in talent shows and stuff like that and performing. And then after that, I moved to
wait a minute. Don't go too far. So back up a quick second. who are your parents and how many siblings do you have? So you were, and you go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, my parents is Robert Batts and Ruth Batts. My pops is from Texas, my mom is from Alabama. They were both teachers, also administrative people at high schools, and also entrepreneur, where they actually did work with the community, help community build, raise funds to help different schools, and then at the same time had a laundromat, had real estate. So that's where I learned entrepreneurialism and learning how to. My mom did home ec, so that's where I learned how to cook. I learned a lot of different things from them, and yeah, that's my parents, and they was like, "Yo, we ready to stop teaching." They had me in their 40s, so they was kind of older. So that at that time they was ready to retire.
Hey, at first I thought you had the Fresh Prince story. You know, one little fight, and your mom got scared.
Hey, it's a little similar. They seen that I was I mean, I smoked my first joint at like 12, and then 13, and then 12 I was drinking 40s and stuff like that. I was always hanging with older kids. So they seen me coming home, and I'm up here trying to eat a bowl of cereal, trying to hide my eyes. And it was
that was it.
I mean, they taught high school. They knew kids. They taught high school. They knew these kids that was getting high and coming in classes. So they see their son coming, and they like, oh shit. Yeah.
So it was your two parents, you, and how many siblings?
I got a sister. She was just one sister. She was adopted. But yeah, my sister. My parents.
Yeah.
What up?
No, go ahead.
No, my parents actually did a lot of foster care. They brought in kids because teaching in these high schools and schools like that, you come across so many kids that need help. So they were able to have two incomes, had nice incomes. So they brought in kids, foster kids, and they told my mother that she couldn't have no kids. So they wound up adopting my sister. And yeah, that's what it is.
Just real quick, if you got comments or questions for the ear doctor, start to put them in there, and I'll start to compile them, put them in the chat. I'll start to compile them and get it and work them in as well, because we know a lot of folks are eager to hear from you.
You're right.
You know, in this new capacity. I'm not playing. I think that's true. They're eager to hear from you in a different capacity. But what I want to know specifically is like, so I get it. Like you grew up, you're hearing the music, like, but what made you want to become a DJ? Like, in other words, like, we all fell in love with hip hop. We were all many of us at least were doing the pause tapes and doing all of that kind of stuff, but we all didn't become DJs though. So like, how did you what made you?
All right. Well, let me go back. Yeah. Let me go back a little bit. My sister also was worked with a promotion team in Trenton. So I get to get backstage and meet LL Cool J, Salt and Pepper, Bismarck, New Edition, all these different people. So I'm just falling in love with entertainment. Next thing you know, I get to college. My best friend Battle is a DJ. So pretty much I'm like, yo, he hooked up with me in college. It was like, yo, you got a truck. If you could give me a ride to the club, I get you in free. So we built that relationship. And I just stayed around him DJing, watching him DJ, and he was one of the best. And I've been around so many DJs. And then to the point where after I had my businesses in college, he started doing wedding DJ. And I was like, how much you get? Oh, okay. So then I was like, all right, well, let me get into this wedding DJ thing. Got into it, and then I started doing radio DJing. On-air personality, and I was like, yo, I love this because I've been doing it with the pause tapes, and I just love the response from the people.
Was there a particular so it wasn't like you saw a particular DJ or did you, when you saw like the early formations of those groups that most of which had a DJ, did you see like that's me? Like you didn't see yourself as an MC or a dancer or a graph writer. You saw is it that you saw the turntables? It was like that's.
No, I thought I was gonna be a rapper. I actually was in bands rapping and everything. And yeah, I thought I was gonna be a rapper, but you know, just the love of hip hop, it's like it's so many facets in hip hop. You got graffiti, DJing, breakdancing. I started off in a talent show dancing. You know what I'm saying? I need somebody to love me for me, Heavy D. That was my first talent show. Me and a brother and 3 other sisters did a dance. We won a talent show. And then writing rhymes, performing, and then next thing you know, DJing. It just came along. I was in the right place at the right time.
That's what I was about to ask. So what kind of rapper were you compared to? Were you like the Heavy D type rapper, or like what?
My first time I wrote a full-length rhyme was I listened to Eric B and Rakim, Let the Rhythm Hit 'Em. And I wrote down the lyrics and I seen how his pattern of writing was. And I was like, okay. So I was always on some Rakim, give you some knowledge, at the same time talk that street shit, because I love Cool G rap. You know, I love all the different Big Daddy Kane, all of them. So it was all put into one rap just by listening to all them, being my mentors.
What was your first set of turntables?
Man, my first set of turntables was my dad's turntable. So it was one of those super old ones where it had the arm that came out and then the arm would move and then fall down. But then,
so you were busting up the needles on that joint and scratching off
that with the 8-track tapes. Yes.
Oh my God.
He had a nice collection. So yeah, that. But then after that, later on, when I started doing the wedding DJ, I got some little small. It was when you put the CDs in there and DJ. So I started off as a CD DJ
with the CDJs. I remember. I remember there were like DJs trying to hold on who saw that as blasphemy and were like, I'm not doing anything but vinyl. And then even they had to give in. They were like, I can't keep up with everybody if I don't go digital.
But I will say,
digital,
to me, it didn't matter what you had. I guess because you know I came in with the records and vinyl. But my thing is, can you rock the party? No matter what you got, can you rock the party? And I always wanted to be a party DJ because I was always throwing parties in college and dancing and partying.
All right.
So if you talk about like Kid Capri's, you talk about Bismarck's, people that rock parties, those are the guys I looked at as like, yo, I'm gonna rock parties like that.
Well, so I'm glad you said that because we got a question here from Mumbizi. Question for the ear doctor: your top 5 morning shows of all time. I would want you to give us a top 5 DJs too. Like who's on your Mount Rushmore of DJs?
Okay.
And I'm not sure what is meant by the top 5 morning shows. Is it remixes or just in general? Like,
I'm gonna say this: remix. There we go. That's my top 5.
Dylan.
That's my top 5 for real. Nah, I've never seen a show like the remix because straight up, hip hop, music, history, politics, all that mixed in one, and then people having differences of opinions and still being able at the end of the day to come along and have a goal to liberate people with their thoughts and have a space where you could just say what you want to say and not be ridiculed. Well, I mean, stop talking chat room. They be coming at me, but
they go at everybody. You gotta be careful.
But even when you say top DJs, I would say all right, I would say Kid Capri. Yeah. Because when I'm talking, I DJ with Kid Capri before. I got to see this guy. We actually was in NBA All-Star Weekend in New Orleans and got to DJ with him and Frank Ski, which is a popular DJ here. He also did that song back in the day, Doodoo Brown.
So first of all, hold up, slow your roll. Frank Ski is Baltimore.
Yes, he is. Yes, he
So
is.
I just will be clear, like
Yeah.
because you said down here, he may have moved, but he did Doo-Doo Brown and all that. That's Baltimore back in the day, Baltimore radio. Dang, I want to say I remember the station. Anyway, but go ahead. Yeah. Anyway,
That's that's true.
V103.
V103.
Right?
Yeah, he's been down here for a long time and still.
No, I'm talking about up here. It was V103 up here too.
Oh wow, yeah, and he came back down here and got right back on, and I think he's getting an award this year for radio personality. I mean, that guy, he's got it.
Doo-Doo Brown.
But
that joke was hot.
But then if you're gonna say DJing, you also talk about you move into the production realm of DJing, where you talk about your DJ premieres. You talk about
So that's what I was going to ask though, because like is Premier's my favorite producer, and I have seen him DJ. But as a DJ, would he be in the top 5?
More,
I don't know about that.
Well, I would say producer. Like I would go to
producer,
DJ Jazzy.
He's my number 1. Yeah.
DJ Jazzy Jeff. Yeah, DJ Jazzy Jeff, he's a beast.
Jazzy Jeff is unbelievable.
Yeah, I've seen him, and then just the fact that how he is able to scratch, transform, and all the different things is real nice. Man,
like, I don't think Premier would win I don't think Premier would win what are those battles?
A DJ battle?
Yeah, but there's a popular branded one.
The DMX, the scratching.
DMX. Yeah, I don't think he could win one of those.
Nah, he couldn't. Actually, we had when I used to do a thing called MC War, and I had MCs battling. For another NBA All-Star Weekend thing we did here in Atlanta, I had this white boy that won the DMX championship. He came out untouchable. This dude, I mean, he really was like, you got so many different styles of DJing, where you got a scratch DJ, you got a wedding DJ, you got a lounge DJ. It's so many different styles of DJing, so it's not just one. So you have to separate which one is which in which category.
Anyway, you got any others that you look up to or put on your Rushmore or just
I must say, man, Bismarck was a beast.
Yeah, he was actually.
Bismarck was a beast, and I gotta give it up to D Nice. So when it comes to my style, party rocking.
My daughters have met D Nice. I got to introduce my daughters to D Nice a couple years ago, and Bismarck.
And I gotta give it up to DJ Cool.
Okay.
I mean, because my thing is being able to get on the microphone and at the same time DJ and getting the crowd hype. You got a lot of DJs that don't get on the microphone and just play. But I want the total package. I'm an MC DJ. You know what I mean?
I got to shout out from my own 2 cents, DJ Boogie Blind, who tours with Pharoah Monch. He's won a couple of these contests too. He's an incredible DJ. And I have to admit, it's also nice to see him as one of the increasingly decreasing numbers of Black DJs in these space, like Black involvement in the DJ space and in other elements of hip hop seems to have decreased over the years as other communities have jumped in.
So you put DJ Nice before like Cool Herc and Grandmaster Flash and those people. You talking about DJ D Nice the
I mean, we talking about DJ D Nice from 808. You got to go back in time. He produced KRS One's albums and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Geechee, can we check your settings, man? My bad. Sorry, man. There was a lot of echo. My bad. Sorry, ear doctor. Go ahead.
Oh, it's all good. But nah, he's been producing and DJing with Boogie Down Productions since back in the day. He just got back on, as in, with the quarantine joint, but he's been doing it for a while.
Right on. All right, so look, like I predicted, there's a lot of questions for you here.
Really?
So let me get the remixers involved here. Roz Elbow, who was your favorite artist during the Pause Tape era?
No other than Big Daddy Kane.
That's a good one.
Big Daddy Kane, he just had so many dope hits, and the fact that he was able to go from conscious to dance, as in pop, because I say like once you go past a certain BPM, which is beats per minute, and do like faster music where you can dance to, you start to get into the pop because people could dance. So I like the fact that he was able to do conscious dance music and really just rip an MC's head off. He was the total package of an MC to me.
Coco, what's up, Coco? What age did you leave Trenton here, doctor?
I left Trenton at age 14. 14 years old, moved down to Panama City. My mom passed that next year. I was 15, and then my pops remarried my mom's cousin and wound up moving to Montgomery, Alabama.
That's no disrespect. That's gangster. That's a gangster move right there.
Keep it in the family, right?
I mean, your father had game for days, clearly, because I don't know how you worked that out, boy.
I don't know if it was him. She was more waiting, like, oh, word? He's single now? Like,
oh, my God.
Yeah, it was dirty. And, yo, to the fact where she even came and got power of attorney and took all the loot. So we talk about generational wealth, none. I had to build up. I mean, my pops passed
dirty jers.
I was like 17, and yeah, at that point, my pops passed. I had to build up from nothing. I had no generational passing on the wealth or nothing.
Well, that part of the story sounds familiar. Who killed Tommy Boy?
What kind of question? How unique is wild.
I don't know. I don't know who killed Tommy Boy. Their attempt to hold on to the catalog of De La Soul killed Tommy Boy.
Facts.
What are your views here, Doctor, on socialism and worker co-ops? Now, that's a remixer question right there.
Give me the definition of socialism again, Jared, so I don't get it wrong.
Well, I mean, the technical definition is worker and people control of the state and the means of production. So you, instead of people's owning the apparatuses that produce wealth as opposed to private ownership. So if yeah, that's the base answer. Redistribution is, I think, the easier way of putting it. You know, people create the wealth, and it should be redistributed so everybody enjoys it beyond the 1%.
Well, you know,
and
what's
I'm happy
funny,
to share anybody else's quick answer summary to that.
Go ahead.
Is my audio better? My audio better?
Not really. A little bit, but it's at least not echoing. But go ahead.
Well, I can tell you what it's not. So I had a few people talk about that. They think socialism is people be getting their money that they work hard for. Like, they actually explain capitalism while they're trying to critique socialism. But so it's definitely not somebody just sitting at the top making all the money and you doing all the work.
Like Kwame Ture used to say, there's only two ways you can organize a society economically. Either the wealth that's produced is owned by a private elite, or it's owned by the people. And socialism is the latter. It's owned by the people. So if in this, when I talk about it in this world, if we just redistributed that $20 trillion GDP and started there, and everybody had free school, healthcare, good living, everybody had jobs and guaranteed incomes and all this kind of stuff, like that would be more akin to.
So is that like when you're playing on a football team and everybody gets an award just for participating?
No. No, it's in fact, it's the opposite. It's everybody gets the adequate compensation for their contribution. That's what it's not people getting something for nothing. It's people getting what they deserve for having already done everything. Capitalist mythology convinces people that only people who deserve it earn, and it's the exact opposite.
I'm cool with that. I was watching funny thing. I was watching Uncle Tom last night, and it's a documentary on Prime, and it's basically talking to people that's like considered Uncle Toms and stuff like that. You had it was pretty good. And you know, I was like, am I a Republican or a Democrat? Even though I'm neither, But the thing was,
boy.
it was like how they would talk about, you know, going hard for getting yours and not worrying about all the stuff saying that we can't do this, we can't do that. Pull up your bootstraps and get it done. But I kept hearing I. It was very individualistic. It wasn't a we thing. It was like, I've been put in this position to make this happen. So you should be able to be put in that position to make it happen too, which is not, you know, everybody's not in the same position to make it happen. But I do like the mentality of, you know, making sure that you don't let other people's thoughts make you think that you can't get anything accomplished. So when it comes to socialism, I'm with it, but I just want everybody to work hard. You know what I'm saying? I want everybody to go full strength, because sometimes you got to pull other people along. I get it, because, you know, everybody's not, you know, super smart at one thing. So you got to pull them along sometimes, because they might be stronger at another thing. So I believe in us all working together coming up.
Yeah, Alice is right. I mean, my answer delved a little bit into the differences between communism and socialism. Socialism is when the government is owning and running everything, as opposed to the people under communism. I get that. I'm with you on that. I appreciate the correction.
Hey, Air Doctor,
yeah.
this Uncle Tom, you talking about the one with Lakeith Stanfield, Herman Cain, LeBron James, Snoop Dogg?
Yeah.
That looked like an interesting cast there. Margaret Sanger, Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, it was
Morgan Freeman.
Jay-
Morgan Freeman. I used to
Jay-Z.
play that clip of him all the time with Don Lemon on CNN. Morgan Freeman is among the worst spokespeople I've ever heard on these issues, sitting there saying that because he's a successful actor, nobody should be able to complain about racism. You know, part of the mythology is that under socialism or communism, people wouldn't be encouraged to work hard. And that is part of the fantasy that has been concocted literally intentionally by the industrial elite in the turn of the 20th century. That the idea is that capitalism is what assures that everybody's going to put in their fair share. But it's the exact opposite. People want to work.
What is work hard?
But that's what I'm saying. People want to contribute. People want to produce and are happy to contribute overall, and certainly could be encouraged towards that with reorganized education and media, et cetera, and so forth. The problem is that for all that work, they don't benefit. So poor people work harder than anybody and get the least for it. So that's what socialism seeks to address and correct.
Got you.
Anyway, but I like the suggestion that instead of that, Uncle Tom, you watch Goodbye, Uncle Tom. That's what you should watch.
But my thing is, I want to hear different perspectives, point of views. I'm always about that. That's why people be like, "Oh, you don't take one side." I like to listen to both sides and see where they come from. And I always been like that. So they say you stand on the fence. Maybe.
All right. Alice is asking for you to tell us more about your rap metal band.
Oh, wow. Yeah, like I was talking on Remix with Kim, Big Bird It Down, Kim Brown. I did have a black rock band called Black Garnet. And yeah, it was cool. It was lasted for about a month. But my longest stint with a band was an Afrobeat band called Masiki Scales and the Common Ground Collective. So with them, we had a band full of African dancers. We had about 4 horns, 3 drummers, different types of drums, shaker rays, and all types of. That was the dopest. It was like I really felt like I was BlackThought with the Roots. I mean, that was the dopest thing I've ever done. It introduced me to Afrobeat and Fela, and I just fell in love with it.
Right on. Mm-hmm. Right on. So you should stop talking all this trash about my mama's biscuits with you over there with the Black Garnet.
Hey, I put our band against y'all any day.
That's what we need to do. We need a battle of the bands. I definitely would put 5 on that. Well, I would have back then. I don't know. I'm out of practice, but yeah, we should definitely do. Anyway, Geechee, you were going to say something real quick. Did you want to jump in?
No, I guess I wanted to get his idea of who would you say, because we talked about it earlier, who would you say is a conscious rapper today, and who was kind of a conscious rapper in the era before? Like, who would you call conscious, and why maybe?
No other than, well, if we're gonna go back, let's start with let's go with Chuck D. I mean, let's go with Chuck D. Let's go with Rakim. Let's go with KRS-One. Let's go with Queen Latifah. Let's go with them. And then if we talking today, when we talk about conscious rappers, you got a young dude like YBN Cordae. You got
That's messed up, Franny.
You got Joey Badass. You know, I like the balance where you could talk about the street stuff and still talk about consciousness, because even when we talk about Malcolm X, we talk about how he dealt with street stuff and then he got consciousness. So you was able to, when you're able to listen to that, you'd be like, oh, I can relate to this person if I'm a street dude, or you know what I'm saying? It's certain things I can hear that's got relatability to it. And then if you're conscious, you can relate and still listen to the street stuff going on. So those are a couple new and old.
Right on, right on. Keep the comments and questions coming. I'm trying to collect as many as I can for our audiologists. Come back to Lucy's here. What was your vision and goal for yourself as you got involved with the mentorship program for the young men?
Oh, dope. That's Black Man Lab. I was actually brought in to DJ and do the sound at first. A lot of places and spaces I get into is do the DJing and doing sound for people. But with them, it's really about a rites of passage. Like I say all the time, the only time we get a break in the society is like if we go to jail or something. We actually get to sit down and think about life. I mean, because we're always on the go, working, trying to provide, trying to figure out what's next, what's this, that, and the third. And when you're paused, like put on pause and actually get time to actually breathe and have your thoughts, then you start thinking, am I doing this right? You know what I mean? So I want to, our goal is to provide a sacred and safe space for brothers, young and old, to actually have a spot where we can talk about different things and figure out things together. Put people that's in certain positions to talk to these youth, because if they're not seeing it, all they seeing is rappers, athletes, and stuff like that on TV. Then when do they ever get to meet a successful civil rights lawyer? When do they get to meet somebody that's successful in farming? Like this next one we got coming up this Monday, it's about farmers. So we're bringing a bunch of farmers in, because at this time we know with the food shortage and stuff like that, you have to learn how to farm. You have to learn certain things that we're not taught in school. And we realize more and more that the school is some bull. And I think we really want to work on building some type of school that's going to be able to teach things we need to be better human beings in the society.
I want to follow up real quick. So I've been paying attention to some of the financial experts, and most of them also claim like, oh, they don't teach us this in school, but then they also teach, like, they end up teaching us something that still kind of maintains what they teach us in school. So how can you be sure that it's not just provocative, not teaching them in school, but also teaching them things that will ultimately lead to their organization and liberation? Like, how can you be sure of that, or how do you make sure of that?
I mean, you build the school and you put the professors and teachers in there that's going to teach what you want. This whole curriculum that they teach in school is old as fuck. I mean, and if we don't take control now that we have the economics to do it, we have our mind state is ready to do it, we should be doing it and stop depending on these other people to teach our kids. I mean, it's at a point where we got all this money. What are we going to do? Let's buy a Macy's out of a mall that's no longer there, and let's build a school in there. Let's put people in position to teach what needs to be taught.
I don't agree with. I gotta agree with Rob on this. You sound like Dame Dash on that one, dear doctor. I don't.
Well,
so like just No, I just gotta say, man, I appreciate the energy, but I this is sort of my problem with the economics. Like, black people don't have the money to do what you're talking about, and then on top of that, there isn't the political power. So that even that example is the perfect example here, Doctor. And I think this is something that even like what we were trying to deal with in the first hour. Even if there is theoretically the amount of money necessary, the political power required to get the space that was formerly a Macy's doesn't exist. So
why not? There's grants out there. There's different ways to get money. GoFundMe's. There's so many different ways nowadays to get money to do it.
Right, but
the GoFundMe would still be tapping the people without money.
Yeah.
What's the matter with the Robin Hood theory? Taking this grant money and doing what we're supposed to do.
But again, grant money comes with specific limits, specific regulations, specific policy. Like, you can't just take the money, do whatever, and then it doesn't come. There isn't enough grant money being given. I'm not an excellent grant writer. I don't have a successful track record writing a lot of grants, and I acknowledge that that's one of the limits of my own academic career. But I do look at the grants that are being offered regularly, and there is a lot of money out there, but it comes with a lot of ties, a lot of specifics, and it's not enough that would be it's not enough that could be used to transform the collective economic condition. You can't get grant money to turn a Macy's into a whatever that would be sustainable going down the line. And again, as Geechee is saying, GoFundMe is just taking money from other poor people, pooling it, and then using it for some specific purpose. Is it poor people?
Because I don't think poor people are actually giving the money to GoFundMe. It's more people that have money that's actually like, oh, I got extra money, let me go ahead and do it. But at the same time, what do we do? Sit around and continue with this old curriculum and cry and bitch about it?
No. So my argument would be that the curriculum changes should incorporate the education around radical theories and histories that are suppressed in school.
Why if I'm a prisoner? Oh, okay. Put it like this. If I run America, why would I give my prisoners who I pay taxes and stuff like that? Why would I give them what they want? Why would I give them this political power? Why would I give them?
I'm not saying the way to be given. In fact, your question there. Hold on, Geechee, real quick. Geechee, sorry, real quick. That question right there, ear doctor, is a response to your previous claim that we can get grant money.
Mm-hmm. You can if you disguise it a certain way.
Okay, all right. Go ahead, Geechee. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say the same thing because I always hear cry and bitch and moan for handouts. Then I hear go get loans and grants and stuff to start businesses. So it's almost like the contradiction. And I suggest one of the mini books, The Revolution Will Not Be Funded, is a good research book to show that those people ain't gonna fund you overthrowing them. That's not gonna happen. Like that's not a, it's been tried a couple times, but I don't even know if it's been successfully or even legitimately tried. But people have this rhetoric a lot. In fact, when you look closely into the curriculum that you're talking about, that curriculum actually teaches the same thing. Like, you can get your money up and bankroll your way out of oppression. That's not gonna happen. So
well,
it's the same
I guess
if you think about it.
I guess I'm spoiled since I went to Morris Brown, the school started by blacks, made by blacks, for blacks, and I realized I got a pretty good education, and I know a lot of other people that got a pretty good education that wouldn't have got it if they went to one of these other schools that was not started and funded by black people. So
no, there's no way I don't know the specifics of Morris Brown, but I'm positive I will walk out on this platform and say it was not founded and funded exclusively by black people, and it was not meant to teach black people how to become free. HBCUs were not.
Do your history and then do your history and we'll come back on that one. Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
So
1881. Do your history.
Okay.
I'll show you.
With all due respect, dear doctor, please take your same advice and look at the histories of HBCUs.
I will, but the fact remains. The fact remains. Do we have our own schools, or do we continue to let them school us?
But that's sort of my point. And even my own work around my own project on HBCUs and my time teaching. HBCUs are not our own, and they're not designed to teach us anything other than how to function as American citizens as they've defined what that means. So of course you're going to be taught at Morris Brown you're going to be encouraged at Morris Brown and throughout the HBCU universe and the academic universe. You're going to be encouraged into capitalist endeavor, investment, saving, and avoiding radical theory and organization. All of that is of course going to be encouraged. So exactly what
school did you go to get this information? Not my school. We taught different from that. I'm just saying we started our own organization. We knew we wasn't Black Greeks. We started the Society of Ma'at, which we got the top award for most work in the community. We had professors that taught nothing but real history from our books. So it wasn't that whole capitalistic. It depends on what school you're talking about.
But what you're advocating is that. But that's what I'm saying. So I don't know.
Spoiled then, because I had a great coming up.
What I'm saying. Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. That's what I'm saying is you're advocating a Black capitalist response. So despite whatever you're saying was your educational experience, you're advocating, and what it sounds like you're encouraging when you teach these kids is a Black capitalist response to a problem created by capitalism and white supremacy. And that's what I'm saying is not that's what I'm saying is in fact in line with what all HBCUs were designed to do.
So let's continue to let these kids go to these other schools, and let's not create our own and not have our own curriculum.
But again, HBCUs were not created by Black people.
But I'm saying,
doctor.
I'm saying, okay, let's not go to
They
HBCUs.
weren't created by our own. I'm not saying that either. Again, I'm not making that.
So are you against building schools to teach what needs to be taught?
No, what I'm saying is HBCUs were not those schools.
Okay, take away HBCUs.
Okay, I'm saying, sure.
Do you want to build a school that can teach what needs to be taught?
Yes, but what it sounds like you are arguing what needs to be taught is what I disagree with. So it sounds like you're advocating what needs to be taught is quote unquote financial literacy and Black capitalism.
When did I say that?
I'm just saying that's what it sounded like you were saying just a few minutes ago. And that's what it sounds like you were saying whenever I hear you talk about your entrepreneurial work with these kids. That's what it sounds like to me.
I'm teaching.
So that's why as I agree with the comment from A-Rob earlier, it sounds like you're saying what Dame Dash has been saying.
Well, I disagree with him. Me personally, I'm teaching kids how to learn how to do podcasts. I'm teaching kids how to do editing on Adobe and how to pretty much use these platforms and whatever they need to do to get their word out, to figure out how to make some extra income. So I mean, is that wrong?
That's cool. And that is in line with all the curriculum you would get, for instance, at a school of journalism and communication at Morgan State University. That's exactly what they would be teaching. So what I'm saying is that in and of itself is not the kind of revolutionary education I think we need. I think it's an important skill to learn. I'm not saying we shouldn't learn skills and be able to do whatever. I'm saying that in and of itself is not some revolutionary curriculum. That's all I'm saying.
It depends on the topic people are talking about when they get on the microphones too, don't it?
Yes, but again, the schools and the courses that you're talking about, and certainly the curriculum at the universities that I've seen they're not teaching you about content. They're teaching you how to produce. They're teaching you the technology and the capability to produce that content. They're not talking about the content itself. And there's nothing in those curricula that are teaching a revolutionary worldview that would produce radical content. That is what you have to get outside of these schools in different spaces. So HBCUs aren't going to teach that any more than the white ones would either.
Hey, that's why I said we got to have our own schools and build our own curriculum. Even if it's not an HBCU, we need to do it ourselves. Okay. I can't sit around and wait for other people to teach my kids. I can't.
That wasn't the point. The point was, will the curriculum you've developed separately be any different? That was Geechee and my question. That's what I'm saying. We're not seeing. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't sound like there's.
That's why you have a round. That's why you have a round table of different minds, so you can put it together and figure out what needs to be taught. I'm not saying I want to put the whole curriculum together myself, but you have this talented, not even talented 10, but you have this round table of people. I ain't go there. I see Geechee face. But I'm saying as you sit down and you figure out what things need to be taught. I would like to do that with y'all. Like, I don't, even when it comes to financing, what are we going to teach? You know what I mean? Because it needs to be taught. I wasn't taught how to do a lot of things because my parents passed early. I had to learn everything myself. So if I go to learn some certain things, I might be in a better position economically, but I don't even look at what ifs because everything happens how it's supposed to. So,
but so that's actually kind of some of the myths that HBCUs have been teaching for a while, that if I would have blah, this would have happened. Not the system intentionally does this and it handicaps us. In fact, most HBCUs have been used as a handicap because now you're seeing proximity to whiteness in blackness. So you have black people with the parties and the sororities and fraternities, but they still doing the exact same thing as the white folks. They're still doing the investing. They're still thinking college is the way to put them in the middle class. So instead of trying to get to the middle class, the goal is to erase class in general. And black college haven't shown to even have done that at no point in the history of black colleges.
mm-hmm.
So I think again, it's a good experience to be around a bunch of black people and all that other stuff. But at the end of the day, you still gotta go work for the white corporations, or
no,
you could do the pinky shit and be like, oh, I'm gonna give a bunch of LLCs away with no capital. So it's like,
I don't know.
I mean,
because all my friends I went to school with got their own businesses. It's not like they was like, ooh, I got to go work for somebody and this, that, and the third.
give me an example.
I had a different experience because I went in there with a different mind state. I went in there like, yo, I'm meeting people, I'm networking, I'm learning my history, I'm figuring things out, and I'm not going to go leave here and go help the system. I'm going to do my thing. I've only had like 2 jobs for working for somebody in my whole life. I always had my own businesses, and that was my mental. That was where I was at. So it depends on the person too, because yeah, a white school and a black school could be the same, because being funded by a person that wants you to go to school and learn how to be another citizen, regular citizen in America, yeah, that's their job. That's what they're supposed to do. But you go to these places and you get out what you're going to get out, because your mind is like, I'm not going to go that route. So my mind was never like, ooh, let me go do like everybody else. That's why I started my own organization, started my own businesses, because I realized what I could get from that school instead of just, taking what they're going to give me.
All right, so let's move on. And
ooh, we went on a tangent about that, boy.
Yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of lack of clarity going on.
No doubt.
We won't solve it all this morning. So let me just real quick. No melanin, Rich Nay, Doodoo Brown is Baltimore. So that's easy. Let's see. How did renegade culture begin? First of all, real quick, I know we usually end at 10. Are you all good to go through a few more questions, or do we need to really wrap it up? Right. Okay. How did renegade culture begin? How did that show challenge or strengthen your politics here, Doc?
Well, pretty much I was over at Playback Sound Studio, a manager over there doing audio. And at first I was doing audio for different people. One group that I know that a lot of people know is I was doing audio for 85 South. And once I was doing audio for 85 South, after that I learned how to let me record audio. Then one day Kalanji and Kamal walk in and they was like, we want to do a podcast. So my other homeboy that was doing the audio for them was like, yo, I got another gig. So next thing you know, I sit in there and do the audio for them. And you gonna sit, these guys is funny and everything, and they crack jokes. Y'all know how Kalanji and Kamal get. So they didn't know who they had in there doing audio. So they started cracking a couple jokes, and I came right back at them, helped them listen, maybe you should ask this question, maybe you should cut up the segments like this. and I was on my producing thing. So I was like, all right, well, let me work with them like that. Next thing you know, they like, listen, man, we like your style, we like your energy and your hip hop, and why don't you join us? So wind up joining them, and then throughout the years, I got to, damn, we've been doing it for a minute. Throughout the years, I got to see and meet different people they talk to when it comes to politics, when it comes to community work, organizations, and stuff like that. And I realized that to improve anything, you got to be in some type of organization. You can't just sit back and talk about stuff. You can't just sit behind your computer and type and think things are going to get done. So I would definitely say learning how to be in an organization and getting in one, and then also understanding liberation from different views and understanding what needs to be done to help free our people.
All right, right on. Let's see. I think we already answered this. Vinyl or Serato?
I prefer Serato. Vinyl, you got to worry about the records scratching and skipping and stuff like that, and you can't.
You got to carry more stuff too.
Yes, break your back.
Serato's just a laptop.
Yeah, yeah.
Grandmaster
All I
Flash
got
started the
walking
whole
with
thing.
that. That's easy.
Right. Yeah, Grandmaster Flash, no doubt. Grandmaster Theodore, all of them cats get credit for
No
developing scratching and all of that kind of
big
stuff.
up to the architects, for real.
What are your favorite DJ genres?
My favorite one is old school hip hop, reggae. Really, I play any and everything: pop, reggae, Afrobeat. But I would have to say old school hip hop because I know so much of it, and yeah, it's easy.
And did I ask Ear Doctor to give him tips on mixing reggae and dance hall? Did Dr. Dad ask you who gave you tips on mixing reggae and dance hall?
Nobody. Like I said, I hung around a bunch of DJs, so I got to hear everybody's mix. And coming up in our time, it was a bunch of reggae, dancehall going on. So it was just hearing those mix. And then a lot of the songs, they just dope. So I mean, just like hip hop, I mean, hip hop came from reggae. When you really get to the essence of it, when you talk about Papa San and all these MCs that was chatting it down back in the day, how they get the microphone and rip the shows. That's where hip hop came from. That's why you got like Kool Herc from Jamaica, and you got Biggie from Jamaica. Busta Rhymes, one of the best MCs. Families come from Jamaica. So yeah.
Right on, right on. Let's see. Who's your favorite mixtape DJ? Did you answer that already?
Nah. Favorite mixtape DJ would be DJ Juice and DJ Dirty Harry.
Oh, wow.
DJ Juice is from Trenton. Dirty Harry, why I like them is because how they mix, how they blend. I love good blends. And yeah, I love a good blend. I mean, anybody can get on there and just play songs, but when you got good blends, that's what I love the most.
Man, I got to shout out Bobito and Spinner for that early, what was it? Late 90s, early 2000s double mixtape Wonder Wrote It CDs that started the Spinner parties, where they blended all those tracks written and inspired by, performed by Stevie Wonder. That joint was amazing.
Yeah,
that blew my mind to this day.
I love blends.
Let's see. Would Ear Doctor be interested in revolutionary Pan-Africanism and developing that with this youth group? That's a good question.
We do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. We bring in all types of that's what I'm saying. Every week we bring in different types of people, whether they be on some I mean, we're based off Pan-Africanism. I mean, we got people from different countries. We got different authors, people that's done activism work. We even had Kalanji come speak before. So we deal with everything.
Even had Kalanji. That says everything right there.
Hey, you already know. And Kalanji's been working with our organization before. We've been out in the streets doing movements and rallies and all types of stuff. So yeah.
Here, doctor, your top 5 vegan dishes.
Oh wow. Okra on cut up okra with tomatoes and onions on top of rice. Mushrooms. We talking about them big mushrooms that you can cut up and they like got the consistency of like a nice meat, and then you can mix it in different sauces. I love doing breakfast. Breakfast.
Breakfast.
So Jersey. Breakfast when you got the sausages, the waffles, and then the scrambled tofu for the eggs. So there's some. I'm a very good cook. I worked in a vegan restaurant before, so I could cook very good. And like I said, I raised myself, so I had to cook. Couldn't afford those meals, eating out every day. But yeah, I learned from Trinidadian vegans.
Right on. Thanks, James Scott. Appreciate the super chat. Appreciate you. Let's see, couple more here. Get your questions in if you got them. Couple more before we wrap up. What brought you to your college major, African Studies?
Okay. What brought me to my major? Pretty much this brother, Professor Masiki Scales. He was a young professor on campus, and I took one of the classes, and from there, when we started talking about our history, he had hip hop references. Like when we would have class, he would reference different things in hip hop, and whenever it keeps you interested. So I started being like, "Yo, this is the class to go to." So next thing you know, I met other professors that also taught in African Studies. So many different ones. I can't remember everybody's name, but Coco Selassie. It was so many different ones that I learned from. And I was like, listen, this is what, because I came in on communications, like we all do. A lot of us that do radio and stuff like that, we came in on communications. But once I started learning about my history and learning how it can empower you and just learning something that wasn't taught before, I loved it. And to be able to learn that and put it in my rhymes, because you got to remember, I was an MC, so I'm up here sitting here learning history, writing it in my rhymes, and this is how I got good grades, because that's how I wrote my notes.
Right on, right on. All right, folks, again, last call on questions. I'm gonna get to these that we have. Geechee, did you want to say something? Were you trying to jump in?
No, because when I was I forgot it. I can't remember it now. So. Oh, actually, yeah. Did you play high school sports or college sports at all?
Yeah, I played high school. I played
basketball.
I played. Oh, no, I played football. As y'all, big up. Thanks for showing my basketball commercial, Jared. But yeah, I played football all through.
I played every show.
Yeah, I played football through all through high school. And it was crazy because, coming from up north and moving down south, these cats down south was on a different level when it comes to football, because they playing in that hot sun. So, yeah, I sat the bench when I moved down south, because I couldn't hang with these boys down here, man. They play in that hot sun all day, and that's why the SEC is the best in football when it comes to college.
Last question: how do you feel about Deion Sanders and HBCUs starting to grab some of the top elite black players?
I like it. I like the fact that they can actually have coaches that these kids can relate to, because I couldn't relate to none of my coaches playing football. They were all Southern white men that, if you did good, they'll talk to you. If you play, they wouldn't talk to you. But I like the fact that they actually have somebody that's been in the fire that they can respect. And yeah, I think it's good for these boys out here.
Yeah, Coco, please repost that question. I didn't see it. Yeah, again, I am saving the ones I am catching. So some of them I have queued up here. But again, last call to folks. Let's see here. What's next? what genre he thinks he mixes best. I think we answered that already.
Yeah, old school hip hop.
Old school hip hop. What do you think Black Power Media does? I think that, I don't know. Was that some hate?
What do I think Black Power Media does? I think we give people what they want. We give people what they need. We give an outlet for radical thought, and I would love for some more people to, especially as lively as people are in the chat, we would love for more shows to be on here where we can put out their thoughts too. I just want to make this a place for people that's all about liberation in certain ways. You know what I'm saying? I want this to be a place for people to put out their ideals, their thoughts, their perspectives, and at the same time, not pull us down as a people, but pull us up.
So Coco's question is in a similar vein. How do all these things here Doctor mentioned build political power? What is your doctor's definition of political power?
What is my definition of political power? Political power. Always for me is us doing for us. That's my definition of political power. I mean, I've always been about us doing for us. I never looked for others to help us do anything. So yeah, it's pretty much us doing for us and being able to have the resources and coming together and making sure it happens.
All right. Dev, what's up, Dev? Is asking your favorite LGBTQ rappers. I'd be interested in a list. Who and then
like
Franny's asking who are your favorite female DJs. Dev, I would actually be interested in your list on this. Who
I ain't gonna front.
I mean, other than Lil Nas X, who do I know that is
Santa,
I'm not
you got Santa Sauce or whatever his name is.
I don't even know who that is.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have to say going back for me would have to be because I believe she has come out as at least bisexual. I
would say Queen Latifah.
Well, yeah, but also I've totally gone blank on her contemporary.
Who you talking about? MC Lyte? MC Lyte is she's not.
I thought she came out as gay or bisexual.
Nah,
no?
She married. She got a man. She married.
Okay, then I made a mistake. I take that.
Yeah,
back.
But I would say Queen Latifah.
So does she operate? Is she operate in these spaces as what? As lesbian?
Who, Queen?
Is she even out there like that? I know people have been saying that about her since
yeah, she's been spotted with girlfriends and stuff like that.
But I'm saying, does she operate as okay? All right.
I mean, but do you always have to
qualify as a rapper anymore?
Do you have to raise the flag and be a rapper? I mean, can't you just rap and if it's part of your lifestyle, that's what it is? It just seems too much. Like you gotta.
Well, that's what I was asking was. Well, I'm asking both. Is she a rapper at this point? I don't know. And is Queen Latifah operating in public or operating in this world as a member of that community? I don't know anything about her on that level. So
her last thing she did on K Slay's album, she killed it.
Oh, I didn't even hear. What did she do on K Slay's album? I didn't hear that.
Yeah, she did it.
He's got they got a long list. Dev has. I don't know. Yeah,
I
gotta
don't
get
know none
caught
of them.
up. I don't know any. Yeah, I don't know any of these people's music.
I ain't go front. I don't know none of them.
So I don't know.
But
there are so many queer rappers. Like, who are they, Alice? I don't know. Like, I'm not up on who's out now. Period. So I don't know who they are.
I don't go looking. Young M.A. She is one of my favorite. Yes, Young M.A. is a beast. I don't go looking for like, this is your label. This is, you know what I'm saying? Young M.A. reminds me of like a female Cameron, just like her swagger and how she spits. I love Young M.A.
The chat thinks they're funny, man. The chat, y'all not as dope and cool as you think you are sometimes.
What they
But
talking
go ahead
about?
and enjoy yourself. They just out there. They just making fun of us. I think we're not. I don't know. That's all right. I don't. It's all right.
I mean, you got
Janelle
so
Monáe,
many.
is she a rapper?
Oh yes, Janelle Monáe is another one. She spits bars.
Is she a rapper
buddy.
though?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Geechee, I haven't.
I've never heard her rap. Ever.
She even got
I've
a
never
video
heard
of
her rap
just a rap song she got. Go check her out. Janelle can spit.
Okay.
Don't sleep on her at all. She's nice. She even got that song with
That's
Erykah
what
Badu.
I'm asking, Def. That's what That's what I was asking. Like
she didn't vocally come out. But she's been seen kissing and loving on her girl. I mean, you don't gotta come out all the time. You can just do it.
But when
that's
I hear
almost
the
like
question,
clout chasing.
That's not. But that's not. But when I hear the question, I understood the question as rappers who would have proudly or popularly incorporated their identity in their lyrics. That's how I interpreted that. So I don't know. So I get it that that's her business. But if the question is who is representing as an LGBTQ rapper, then I think that's where.
Yeah, it's not a whole bunch.
I mean, I think I was struggling with just saying that there.
Oh, she did a mass gay wedding. Okay, I didn't know that. All right, she came out this year.
I was thinking about Rashawn Patterson, who's a singer.
I don't know who this is either.
Who's a singer? I think he's one of the best singers out for a long time. Who happens to be LGBTQ, but so I guess. To me, it sounds like it's almost like the question is tunneling to where like they're good for a queer person or good for an LGBTQ person as opposed to being on the mainstream. I would think most people put Queen Latifah at the top, but not at the top, but.
And then you got, like you just said, Tyler, the Creator. You got Frank Ocean. Frank Ocean is a beast. His first album, Channels Orange. Oh my goodness. And that's just talent. I wasn't even thinking about, he's representing this. The dude is talented.
If Janelle is a rapper like Erykah Badu, then she's not a rapper.
All right. Y'all sleep on Janelle Monáe.
I'm just saying if that assessment is correct. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Go look up, type in YouTube rap video by Janelle Monáe, and you will see her kill it.
Okay.
And she got a song called Queen with Erykah Badu, actually, where they both rap. So,
okay. Y'all sleep on her if you want to. I'm not sleeping. I just don't know. All right. So what about what about Franny's question about female DJs?
Oh, and real quick, back to Geechee. Even when it comes to R&B, I think that's different. You got Luther Vandross back in the day. You had so many, like we said, Rashawn Patterson. Yeah. R&B is a little different because a lot of the R&B singers came from the church, straight out the choir, and we know a lot of them how they got down. So, but favorite female DJs, I would have to say actually it's some local ones I know. Princess Cut, more local ones that y'all probably don't know about. Some of these female DJs get off on their name. I ain't gonna front. A lot of female DJs are just getting hired because they're a female DJ. And I've heard their mixes, the transitions, and the terrible. But it's some DJ sisters out here like Spinderella that can hold their own.
Not as a career, Dev.
Hey, Air Doctor. So tell me, I think it's my piano, the new African genre of music where the DJs are DJing, but they're doing a lot of dancing. Like, how do you feel about that? Like the beat, the music is dope, but it seems like the DJ are being hired to kind of like entertain and dance. So, like, do you feel like that's changing or taking away from the art at all? Or?
I mean, if you go to Sundays, you'll see me dancing and playing music. That's why I don't call myself DJ Blase Blah. I'm the ear doctor. I'm an entertainer. Like I said, I was an MC before I was a MC and a dancer before I was a DJ. So when you're talking about DJing, it's all about energy. When you're playing music and they see you having a good time like you love it, then the energy just is contagious. You know what I'm saying? So if you're just sitting there, play music, play song, then you got to wait on their energy. I come to bring the energy when I come. So I'm gonna have a good time, because if I'm not having a good time, then you can. It's all about entertaining people and energy.
Hey,
that's the most important part about it.
Just real quick to A-Rob and everybody else with criticism in the comment. I'm open to being educated as to what makes this conversation cringe as we respond to a question we were asked. And I'm also open to any of you ever, as we've offered before, to jump on here, to come on out the chat and jump on here and engage the conversation. But if you want to do it privately, I'm open to that as well. Like I'm serious. Like I'm not you laughing here, Dad. I'm not bucking in this moment. So don't misunderstand me. I'm actually legitimately asking, like, what makes it cringe? What we said. You know?
Please. I would like to know.
So I'd like to know that. And Dev has been invited before. Anybody, folks are invited. If you all want to come up here and correct us on our gender and our and sexuality issues, I'm happy for that to happen. So
I'm definitely here to learn, because I'm gonna front. I ain't gonna front. We came from an era when we was calling people out of their names, and that's. But
even as I've said, when we had our discussion, I remember with like Summer McCoy about the history of mixtapes and stuff. Like I've had the same issue. Like when asked, I don't like separating categorically. My initial response, like I said to her, my initial thing was, I don't like separating categorically women and men, or at this point any gender or sexual identity based, categorically for rap and DJing. Like I don't think. But her response was that it was a way to raise up communities, in this case women, who had been excluded from recognition. Because I was saying, why do we need why do we separate women and men categorically when assessing lyrical ability and DJing capability? This isn't well, anyway. But I get the point. If the goal is to raise up people who have been traditionally ignored, so in that case, I get the anyway.
Because usually we're separated in genders when it comes to physicality. Other than that, there's no physicality,
right? And that would be my point. There's no. That's my point. So, like, what would the All right, anyway, 2 more questions and then we can wrap up for the day. And then, like I said, I mix what I like at gmail.com if anybody wants to email me about.
I see Ricky had a question.
Anything.
I think she asked how I feel about people coming up making requests. When it comes to the DJ
line, we'll go. How do you feel about people jumping the question line when you hosting the show and got a list of questions? Like, how do you feel about that? That's the. But go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Producing, man. My bad.
I'm saying, go ahead, DJ. Go ahead.
Matter of fact, let me pull up some more pictures. Now I'm just playing. I know Jared was like, "What the? Who pulled this picture up?
Who you put it?" Anyway,
it's a bad habit. It's a bad habit
about requests. How do you feel about requests?
I'm cool with depending on the party. When it comes to me doing weddings, the bridal party might know a song that she knows that the bride loves and they all grew up with, and they'll turn the party out when it comes to them and their people. When it comes to being at a club or something like that, beat it. Kick rocks. They hired me to do this. I'm good. Only thing you could come up to me and say is, my friend's birthday, could you give them a shout out? Other than that, I'm good. But
it's also differences, right? Because sometimes the person coming to the DJ stand is making a request because they think that what the DJ doing is whack, and they think that their request is going to make it better. And then there's sometimes it's just like, you're doing a great job, I just want to hear this song. So like there's even different, like there's slight variations, and even somebody saying, could you do something? It's like,
That's true.
But I hear you. I like the
I don't get mad. It's just like, yo, when you at McDonald's making fries, I don't come and start putting salt on your fries. Let me do my job.
Man, shout out to the McDonald's employees getting hated on right now. Stop messing with people like that, man.
I'm just saying.
All right, real quick.
Go ahead.
Real quick, last 2 questions that I have for you. Big Tia was asking earlier, in terms of the kids you work with, what revolutionary readings do you all assign them?
Well, we just got assigned. We all brought the autobiography of Malcolm X, and we all bought them for the kids that didn't have them. and I just gave my son one because he lost the one I got him before. But yeah, those Marcus Garvey, that's the next person we're gonna cover and give books out on him. Yeah.
Okay. The last question I have is how do you feel about DJs that aren't actually on tables? Is DJ Khaled a DJ? Should he
DJ Khaled's put in
DJ
his
Khaled?
years of DJing. He's been DJing since a young youth. I mean, if you just a lot of people just catching on him now as the producer and the yeller on tracks, but DJ Khaled's been down in Miami DJing, so I wouldn't sleep on him neither. He's been DJing.
Okay.
How about a famous DJ that you know that actually skills suck? They just celebrity and they're not
let's
really
get some hate.
You know I'm a lover, man. I ain't big on hate, man.
It gotta be somebody you like. Yo ain't nice. He just
Harris. Paris Hilton was one of the worst ever.
I never even heard that you DJ.
Yeah,
that doesn't count. She don't count.
Okay. Other than that, I don't really go watch whack DJs. It's a choice.
Like as DJ Envy, people like that. Are they nice?
I've never really went to a party with DJ Envy, so I don't even know. But I mean,
if I remember, he used to do the DJ Clue thing with the mixtapes. They weren't really mixes; they were just exclusive tracks with him yelling on them. Like that was.
But then part of DJ
mad at Clue for ruining that or helping the downfall of the.
I tell you what it is, Geechee. It's DJs that don't know the crowd. So you have a good DJ and they'll play some music that they not reading the crowd, and that's a very important part of DJing. So they'll throw some stuff like I seen club DJs try to do wedding DJs, and they just don't know how to do it right, and it comes through.
Where can people donate to your organization, Ear Doctor?
They can donate to I'll get that information and share it on the Remix Morning Show. So that means y'all got to tune into the Remix Morning Show. But yeah, I'll get that information. But it is called the official Black Man Lab on Instagram. You can go check out the different work and stuff we're doing. DJ Envy as well.
All right, good people. I do have to move on.
He is a good radio personality.
No, his politics is horrible. No, he's not.
They are, but that's why he's a DJ. I mean, everybody
but
can't
he's bad
be
at that too, is the point.
Everybody can't be good in politics. Everybody's not. That's why you put a team. You think I'm great at politics? That's why I got a team of Jared Balls and Kamal Franklins, and I got Kalanji Jamachangas. I play my part. I play my position. I'm a hip hop head. I love my people, and I play my part. That's why we all came together with Black Power Media and realized play your part, do good at what you do, and we could come together. And I think if we all have the same point guard on the basketball team, you're going to lose. You need a forward. You need a center. You need different positions.
Def Rocker, no list like this that doesn't have Moo Fresh on it can be complete. And again, Maimouna Yusuf is a better MC regardless of gender, sexuality, race, name it. She better than everybody. But anyway, look, Ear Doctor, I appreciate you coming on and doing this, man. This was actually fun.
Hey, I appreciate you having me, man.
Yeah, we got to do this again, man. No, it was long overdue. I think this was a great idea. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I think our remixing audience enjoyed it thoroughly, and those who will catch up to it later will enjoy it as well. Real quick, I know we got Sundays coming up Sunday night, 8:00 Eastern Standard Time. Anything else either of you want to quickly let us know about before we get out of here?
Real quick, I am doing
It's all free work, Dev. It's all free work, baby. I'm out here representing Moo for free. Sorry, go ahead. My bad, man. Go ahead, my bad.
No, when you love them, that's what you do. You know what I'm saying? But this Sunday, I'm trying to pull this up real quick. I'm gonna mess with your thing real quick. So this Sunday I am doing a what is it? I'm doing a hip hop jazz. So this Sunday I'm doing hip hop jazz. So tune in at 8 p.m. through 9. And you're gonna hear people like Diggable, you're gonna hear Tribe, you're gonna hear Guru, you're gonna hear a bunch Jay Dilla, all types of people like that. So tune in. It's gonna be dope.
BlackThought?
BlackThought, yeah. Come on now, y'all see that's a whole we can stay on longer and talk about how the art is separated from the people sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. BlackThought is a legendary MC. I fully agree with that. I just
okay. So we gonna shut him down because his political views now.
I didn't say shut him down. I'm gonna big him up, but I'm gonna keep making fun of him. though. I'm gonna keep like.
I ain't got no problem with that.
I'm talking about his lyrics though.
What about his lyrics?
He's all his lyrics always saw him going towards being a black capitalist.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a radical. I'm not saying his content is radical, but it's fire. Like you can't deny, and he does deserve credit. Like he showed up on
the Coup.
I can't now. I'm going some left of center political tracks, but his overall politics I think are a mess. The overall symbolism with the Tonight Show or whatever that show is a mess, and this venture capitalist thing is a mess. But I would never try to deny not only BlackThought is a legendary MC, but having seen the Roots perform, I can't even count how many times. I mean, he is a true performer, freestyler, MC extraordinaire. There's no question. And Questlove is a dope not only drummer but DJ himself.
Yeah,
they're talented. But I'm not taking no talent away from anybody, but I think sometimes if we go back and like watching an old movie, like if you watch Dead President, you might be like, damn. Like I guess when your politics change, but lyrically, I mean I don't know, because it's almost like the Nas thing. Like Nas could put some words together and rhyme or whatever, but then you really like examine the words, you kind of like, what? So I don't know. I think BlackThought is talented. And the Roots is talented. Obviously, they have some hit songs, but I don't know. I guess I've.
But it's just that when it comes to the politics,
it's wrong, bro.
Everybody's not politically educated on a certain level. Can we accept that?
Yeah.
Yes, but we have to try to change it, though.
Yeah, and when you to say that is cool, but when you are positioning yourself as a political, like I think he even positioned himself.
Did he position himself, or are we putting him in position?
In an interview, he didn't turn it down when they said he puts out political thought. I think he actually said that. So
he did.
So again, when you like I tell Charlemagne, when you make it for bombing on people, and that's why you become famous, I don't want to hear you talk about financial advice, because that's not what got you here. Your intelligence didn't get you here. So same thing with like the rappers, like some of these things, like you don't really know. So I don't think that you should put yourself on a platform as if that's who you are, because I think it confuses people.
I think if you listen to Things Fall Apart album, you'll have a little more respect for BlackThought.
I'm going through the lyrics right now. So I'm gonna go right through it. I'm right after this. That's my homework.
I mean, because the brother has been on some consciousness, at least.
But so here's one thing. So sometimes a rapper can say, "I slapped the woman and I did this and blah blah blah," and then he said something Mansa Musa, and we're like, "Oh, he deep." You know what I mean? Like,
y'all ain't gonna let me live down my Mansa Musa, Mr. T thing, are you?
Look, ear doctor. I'm gonna bring up his own quote again from earlier. We did this earlier in the first hour. Look at this is what BlackThought is saying about him being a venture capitalist and working for the very white.
I read it. I watched the show when y'all did it.
All right, so that's all I'm saying. So like he's acknowledging and now my screen froze. He's acknowledging that his lyrical content has historical and political commentary, which helps inform people. So he's acknowledging that brand, as he says, my brand is like a bridge. He's acknowledging that brand is leading people in a confusing way to think that he's got something to say. So now he's leading them to venture capitalists and white folks. So, but
Hey, and why are we still looking at entertainers for political education?
they're put there for us to. They're promoted to. That's what we're working against. That's my whole point. We're trying to do a whole separate, but all the work we're trying to do is negated by their imposition into these spaces.
I think nowadays that everybody has a microphone and they're able to get a microphone and get on the screen and talk, that we look at them as, oh, y'all should be able to have knowledge and political consciousness, and they are artists, and then they get pulled into certain circles and feel like, all right, well, I got to speak on it, even though they probably shouldn't.
All right, we'll leave it there. I'm gonna let you have the last word on that. We gotta go.
We could go all day.
Look, Geechee, big shout out. Anything quickly you need us to know about?
Just
okay.
Go ahead. Who were you talking to?
Geechee initially, but
okay,
either one of you.
No, it's the same thing. So we haven't put out anything public about the trivia. So, but look forward to that. Air Doctor, you should have a team. You should definitely we having a Black August trivia at the end of August. So,
word.
Look forward to that. Yeah,
no doubt. I'm with it.
I'm with it.
I know a little bit. I do got a degree from Brown, Morris Brown.
Oh boy, to the remixers, to Geechee, Air Doctor, appreciate you. Like Fred Hampton used to say to you, we say peace if you're willing to fight for it. Do all the thing, click all the buttons. Catch you next time here at I Mix What I Like It throughout the platform here at Black Power Media. Thanks again, everybody.
I mix what I like, what I like, what I like, what I like, what I like.